Butt plug ambition.
Butt plug ambitions.
Bad name called it. No, name your sex tape.
Batman ambitions.
I
Butt
like that
plug
you looked
ambitions.
me in the
That's
eyes when you did that.
Yeah, because you're the only one that would get it.
This is the name of your sex tape. Well,
It's
yeah,
the
it's
name
the
of your
league.
sex tape. That's a reference from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's right. That's my bad. That's my bad.
I thought it might have been in the league too, since you said that. But
There's a joke like that in the league.
there's a joke like that in probably every sitcom. Major coincidence?
I think not.
I've only watched like 3 episodes of The League, and I think I've definitely heard a joke like
It's
that.
so good.
It's really good.
League is so good.
I try to watch it at work, and it's not one of those things you can watch at work.
Unless you watch it at work.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been watching Umbrella Academy now.
Man, you're the second person to bring that shit up to me, and I'm like, I don't want to just watch it because the My Chemical Romance lead singer is.
Broadway, yeah.
The
He's in
writer.
it?
No, he's the
he
director.
wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the
Oh.
writer.
He wrote the comic, and now he's the director of
I
the
didn't
show.
I had no idea about that. I just heard people talking about it.
Once,
Yeah, I keep seeing pictures of Fat Gerard Way.
Yeah, right. Once I
No offense, Gerard Way.
once I can re-up on my Netflix, I need to finish what's it called? Big Mouth first. That's
Oh,
my
season 3?
yeah. I just need to watch season 3.
I heard it was
Well,
so
the
good.
first episode's out. Just
What?
the Valentine's
Just the
special.
first, yeah.
That's it?
Really?
Yes, of season 3.
That's,
Wow, that's not Netflix.
Yeah.
I know, right? I think that's
They did it specifically for a Valentine's special. Like the rest of
Yeah.
the season wasn't ready,
it's
and
a
I
double
think
episode. Also.
That's like
Yeah.
the fuck up that they did with 7 Deadly Sins. They like the second season is only 4 episodes long, but then third season comes out and it's back to being like 23 episodes long.
is that how like it actually is, or is that just how Netflix did it?
That's how Netflix did it.
Okay, because we're gonna
Anime
watch it on
seasons
Funimation.
Are confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them do anything like that before.
I definitely have. They'll toss that shit up because a lot of times it relates to how the manga is being released
Yeah.
or when they're working on it or whatnot, and
Well, and, like,
sometimes they'll have like a ton of filler episodes in a season and just have none in one season.
yeah.
And
The Netflix model doesn't really make sense now that I think about it for something like anime that really goes year round, doesn't really have breaks,
Yeah.
and also a lot of times goes weekly. Like there's like 50 something episodes, especially like an older season of like Dragon Ball or something.
right.
So I was dumping that all at once, but modern anime seems to be a little bit shorter. But then Arrested Development, the new season of it was split in half. So I guess Netflix is playing around with
they've
not just dumping everything all
Right.
at once.
They've been doing that too.
'Cause I
Like
noticed-
Unbreakable, the last season of that, they did that.
Yeah, because I noticed that with the DC service that they like rolled it out on a weekly basis, which really makes more sense. Because especially if you have like trials and stuff, and people can
Right.
just when something just drops all at once, just 1 week trial, watch what you want to watch, and then just not pay anything.
Right.
Like you should have more incentive to come back and pay if you only have like 1 week, and then the next week the new episode's out and your trial's over.
I think a newer service benefits from stuff like that
Yeah.
because, they're trying to build their consumer base. If you already have an established, like, if you have a bunch of content to spew out, I understand Netflix wanting to have it by seasons because their viewer base is binging.
Right.
They're kind of designed to watch the entire thing at once. But, it definitely is weird when it comes to animation and anime and, just anything
Right.
like that.
And like, especially with Netflix, when we were watching My Hero Academia on there, season 3 was only in Japanese, but it was already on Funimation full English.
Right. I mean, I think it's just licensing.
on Netflix? Whenever I watched it on Netflix, it was like
Oh,
already full English.
Hulu.
Hulu has 7 Deadly Sins?
No, I was talking about My Hero Academia.
My bad.
So, we were going to shoot our Captain Marvel review first tonight, but with this conversation, I'm not really sure where this is going to go. So, hold on for the intro, and we'll be right back with some kind of fandom nonsense.
Welcome to Fandom Nonsense. I'm Zach.
I'm Aaron. Wait.
I'm Coco? And also no.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
in-
Was her to be also no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still in the thunder.
The Black Thunder.
Shit.
Welcome
He's
back.
Black Thunder. That's his name. He's Black Thunder. And I'm White Lightning.
I haven't read your fanfic.
Oh, you should. Oh, it's
Do you
so
actually have
good.
some fanfic?
Coco wrote the beginning, but we kind of took it off together as we kept, moving forward. I was born and raised by bears.
Why did you choose Pink Comic Sans? I'm never gonna read that document.
Why would I choose Comic Sans ever?
It's a great question, Aaron.
Except for in comics.
Isn't that the one place it wouldn't be?
Comic Sans is always in comics. Are always in comics. Is always in comics? It's just one thing. It's one, like...
Yeah, but it's Comic Sans.
But it's not... It's not... I mean, it just has an S on the end. It's still one thing. It's just 26 letters in one certain type of font. And that one font, it makes it not plural. It wouldn't be Comic Sans. It would just be Comic San, wouldn't it?
What?
Alright.
I don't know. I've lost it. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever had this thread, Aaron.
Whatevs.
Well, welcome back. It's been a minute. Hope you like the new set and everything. New logo Aaron got made.
Looks weird right there.
Does look really weird right there, but it's cool. A lot to get into, but first, I just want to say that over the next few weeks, we'll be starting a new channel dedicated to Fandom Nonsense, moving Couchlock over there, the first word, and a few other new things. So there'll be a link in the description once that goes live, and go over there, subscribe, watch the stuff. But Fandom will be staying, the podcast will be staying on the main channel for now. And thank you. Sorry about the noise. And after this, we'll be shooting our review for Captain Marvel, which will be on our Patreon for you guys to watch. And so make sure to go over there and watch that. And getting right into it, Marvel is reportedly working on a new animated series for the upcoming Disney Plus streaming service based on the What If series of comics that explore the bizarre alternate versions of the Marvel Universe according to Slash Film. The What If comics were one-shot adventures that lived outside the comics canon, posing questions like, what if Loki had found the hammer of Thor? The Disney Plus series will operate under a similar anthology conceit, and each episode will offer a new take on how the events of Marvel's existing 21-plus movie canon might have altered.
Wow.
At first, I thought you said, what if Mickey found the hammer of Thor?
Please.
Fucking.
That's a fanfic.
I
Yeah.
did too, and then I was like, Kingdom Hearts? And then I realized you said Loki, and I was just like, ah, that bastard.
I mean, I like the thought of Mickey, like, as a Norse god. What would Mickey be the god of?
I don't know. Steamboats?
Is there a steamboat god?
What was like Norse currency in the Viking Age?
Mickey gold.
It was, there's a fucking word for it. I don't know.
For copyright.
I don't know. But,
No. Sorry.
what would he be? Yeah, he's the god of trademarks. The god of
Yeah, right.
logos.
The god of gods just owns everything.
Yeah, that's true. He just
It's
buys.
it's
He just
yeah,
buys out the
He
other
just
gods.
has everything. It's just like, oh, you're mine. Oh.
Welcome to Valhalla.
One of the big issues with Marvel's TV shows like ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that they were always forced to be reactive story to the far more important canon of the films, and they were never able to take any big swings in the overarching story because it interfered with the bigger plot lines of the movies.
Yeah.
Moving over to a hypothetical what-if framework would allow Marvel to get as weird as it wants without it ruining the next Avengers film.
Good move.
So with that said, what weird things would you like to see?
Oh shit. I would like to see the timeline where Wolverine was the de facto leader of the X-Men and eclipsed Cyclops in that timeline.
Okay.
And got to get with Jean Grey in a more serious way. I would like to see the timeline in which Deadpool was cured of his cancer through the Weapon X program instead of like having his weird fucking psychotic shit going on.
Right.
Yeah. I would like to see a timeline wherein the Silver Surfer gets to ride the big Kahuna wave.
Really ended out on a low note.
Yeah, that was a
like
low note.
compared to everything else. Like
No, okay. But for real, Silver Surfer, I would like to see the timeline in which he is not abducted from his home planet by Galactus.
is oh, never mind. My question was going to be really off topic.
Oh, here's what you could do. You could have a Kree warrior become the Silver Surfer. Because basically Galactus was just bebopping around the fucking universe.
Yeah.
Looking for...
Surfer dudes.
Yeah, looking for fucking bros to ride sick waves.
Okay, I know one. The timeline where Carol takes the Tesseract with her instead of leaving it on Earth.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, bleep. Or the timeline where Cap dies in World War II instead of getting
And
frozen.
Bucky, or like maybe Bucky's the guy that gets the serum.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a fucking good one.
Or if the Red Skull ends up becoming a good guy from taking the serum. I mean, if we're talking about things that are like specifically in that universe,
Right.
What if instead of it being Iron Man that got hit with the vision of Thanos and him being stuck in his head for 6 years since Infinity War, and it being like Captain America
Right.
instead? Like, what if he's the person that was like plagued with that, and that's the first thing on his mind? Oh, I mean, among all the other things, I just watched Civil War again last night, so it's fresh in my nog.
I really enjoy anthology shows too, like Clone Wars and stuff. Like, because I love long form serial stuff, but at times when you have so many of those, it can seem burdening to have like another thing. Like I have to start here and go through the whole thing, as opposed to like one-off things you can jump on and off. Like, oh, this seems like an interesting episode. Or like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip this week because I don't really care about these characters or whatever, and not feel like you have to watch in a specific order to get the whole story or whatever.
That's especially cool with things like the Marvel Universe because it's already so developed that you don't need to have a serialized show to get any like worthwhile content out of it.
Yeah, it's like, you get the basic premise of, okay, Loki is getting the hammer or whatever happens in this episode. I know this character, blah, 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 blah. You know, jump in, see what happens.
What about the timeline wherein Iceman and Cyclops are turned to the Brotherhood and Havoc and Pyro
Are they good people?
are the good dudes? That'd be cool.
That would be neat. I don't know that much about actual like the comics of Marvel, unfortunately. Like we already know I'm DC
Right on.
to the bone.
Yeah.
Boner.
I only know really
Why did you do that?
Spider-Man in depth as far as comics go. That only goes up to a certain point, like the Venom Carnage era.
Yeah, I've got very little series in which I know a whole lot about them, but I've got a good sprinkling from a bunch of different series.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, I would always look for the things that I hadn't seen before and try to piece together my understanding.
I was gonna wait until the Captain Marvel review to talk about the trailers, but we missed most of them anyway. So one I really wanted to talk about was Dark Phoenix.
The news trailer for it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It looks ambitious.
You know,
It looks okay.
We've already seen the story, but
here's
I mean,
here's what I feel like. If the setup of this movie had the setup of the original of The Last Stand, as far as like the characters and everything going into it, I would feel like this would be the better take on it. But because of like Hugh Jackman's contract is up and he's not going to be in it, because of all of these new X-Men characters I don't really give a shit about. The ones I give the least shit about is Jean Grey and Cyclops.
right.
So
Yeah, they weren't established in the previous movies in the series.
Not
Right.
well enough. Not well
Yeah.
enough to get into the Dark Phoenix part of everything.
Right.
But with that said, like the setting and everything, the way it looks like it could be good if the last like 4 movies hadn't built to it being shit and they
Right.
weren't like, again, doing the Dark Phoenix without Wolverine, which
Right.
you really can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's integral to Jean Grey's conflict and all this.
Right.
She's like sort of caught between her role as being like it's the ethical quandary of like her accessing her full power and just being who she wants to be, and like that's kind of who she is when she's with Wolverine.
Right.
But when she's with Cyclops, she's kind of just fulfilling her role as she has throughout the rest of her life.
I mean, in the trailer, I mean, well, even in this in this universe, like Cyclops and Jean Grey look like kids. They all look like kids.
Right.
Fucking James McAvoy looks like a kid still.
Right.
Like they look like they tried to make him older, but at the same time, they also look like they're just getting into their 30s.
Yeah, he just looks like a fucking kid who caught cancer in college.
Yeah.
Like last week.
He shaved his head preemptively.
Yeah, he's like, I already know I'm going into chemo like 6 months from now, so I'm definitely going to be doing might as well go ahead and get it out of the way already.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't want any of that fucking
It
ex-wife of Dr. Manhattan showing up to grief him look.
It looks cool. They made it seem like in the beginning of the trailer that Jean kills somebody from the team,
Right.
and I have a feeling
It's
that
totally on brand.
Huh?
That's totally on brand.
Yeah.
yeah, totally. But the question is who. I have a huge feeling that they're going to end up making it Mystique.
It's usually Cyclops that ends up dying in this storyline.
But
Is
in the
it?
beginning of the
Yeah.
trailer, she said, "Why'd you make me do that? She was my friend,"
Right.
which made it seem like it was Mystique that
Right.
she killed.
I mean,
But
unless
it could just have been referring to that scene where she threw her like into the side of a building.
I mean, Cyclops could be gender fluid, and we don't really know what gender he is. Why would Jean Grey assume?
I mean, they could be pulling a Marvel. I mean,
And making a fake part of a trailer,
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
like fucking dick bags.
Like you'd be like, hey, let's
Look at
I'm
you,
gonna give you the best that I can. Change that one line to throw everybody off the whole scent.
For sure. No, but it's such a good fucking set piece and storyline when it's told right.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix.
Mhm.
It just, I don't know. I don't want to see it be shit again. I don't even need to really see it again cinematically.
No.
But
I would like to see it done well.
right. But it's just, I don't trust it. You know?
No. I think X-Men honestly would work better serialized.
Don't worry about me.
For sure. There's so many characters involved, so many different interwoven plot lines.
Right.
Yeah.
And with that, the Dark Phoenix would work as an event. Even a whole season of that would be way better than just one movie, or even a 2-part movie, because it's just not built for something like
Right.
that.
They
It's
did
a saga. It's not film.
They did the same thing with Apocalypse.
Yeah. So,
Nothing.
We just occasionally keep seeing smoke coming from over there.
It's my fault.
Is it your fault from having the cigarette underneath the table? Because I've seen it like
Oh,
3
okay, yeah,
times
that's-
now.
Yeah, you
Okay.
see it.
Right on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
you had me
totally
worried
see it.
about.
Yeah, I thought you were saying from the computer.
Yeah. And I
No.
was
I
like,
was like, that's not okay.
I was like, I've several,
stop and address that problem.
several times I've like leaned past Nolan like, what is this coming from?
Yeah, no, I've just been sitting here staring at it. Then I saw her just start to lean back, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm hoping it's me," but at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
didn't see anything smoking down there, so I
No.
didn't say anything.
When is that supposed to come out?
the
But
smoke."
yeah, Dark Phoenix should be told like
It's
that
this year.
too. It should be some faint smoke you see in the
I know the
distance,
smoke is
and
coming out
then
this
it
year,
just
but-
builds up until it's a roaring fire within Jean Grey that consumes your whole world. You know?
Were in the original trilogy, were there points of like pre-showing of like the Phoenix coming out?
No, because
Mm.
it doesn't really happen like that. Like it's
Just kind of, I'm the Phoenix now.
Oh, she gets
Ho
like,
ho. Ho ho.
I'm most familiar with the cartoon version of it, and it's been a while. But she's just Jean, and she's already like super powerful as a psychic.
right.
And then she gets hit with the fucking Phoenix energy, whatever way it happens.
Yeah.
And then she dies,
Right.
and then
Is
comes
reborn.
is reborn as the Phoenix, and
Yeah.
then
Wait.
somehow Jean's still in there, and Jean fights through
Right, right,
eventually, and fucks Logan and all that shit.
Yeah.
happens.
You see-
But it's like, she doesn't get the power of the Phoenix until that shit happens, but you generally see in Jean all the conflict leading up to what would become the main issue with her being the Phoenix. Because it's still, like, within her, the fucking shitty, crazy-ass Phoenix shit that she ends up doing after she's resurrected. Beforehand, it's just that whenever she dies, she loses the part of her personality that keeps all that shit in check and makes her, like, human or whatever.
So, I mean, maybe this one is just going to be, like... Are they planning on making another X-Men movie after this one?
No, this is
the fucking last of the last?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There
Well,
was
never
gonna,
mind then.
because I'm pretty sure.
Why use their last movie to retell the same story?
I mean, because it was already in the pipeline and in production whenever the deal went through with Disney.
That's booty.
I'm surprised that this one actually got made. I'm surprised they didn't just call it a loss. To be honest with you.
That's big dirty booty.
I mean, X-Force, but I don't think that's gonna. If that happens, that'll be under Disney by that point.
Fox already showed off the X-Force, and they all died. Deadpool 2.
They still had. It was still in production.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did they ever actually come out with that? It was supposed to be like a more of a horror type X-Men movie. I can't remember what it was called, but they were all in an asylum.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And there was something like coming through the
that was
walls
one that
and
got,
shit.
That was one that got dropped.
It got dropped. They had trailers out for it and everything. It looks so good. Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah, that's why when I saw this trailer, I was shocked that this one was the one that was coming out, because they've shown multiple trailers for other X-Men movies that did get dropped.
Like Gambit. Fucking good. So much potential.
Right.
So much potential in a good movie. Marvel still has a chance. Once they get that, though, there's a fucking... What are they on? Phase 4 right now?
Yeah, they'll be going into Phase 4.
Oh, they're going into Phase 4? Phase 5 is just going to be so good.
Yeah.
Especially, like, once
What
they
was
have
that motion?
everything. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I really don't... I think that we won't see X-Men in the MCU until the next Avengers movie. I think that's where we'll get some introduced, a la Scarlet Witch and... I mean, ironically, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Right.
But
But
in the same way.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver?
No, I'm saying that in the same way we were introduced to them in an ensemble movie and then got to know them over more movies, introduced to some X-Men characters, but ironically, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are X-Men characters to begin with.
Who do you think will be the first X-Men character that we get introduced to? I think a new Wolverine.
Nah, I kind of doubt it. I think
Beast.
Yeah, I was honestly
You say
thinking
Beast?
Yeah.
Why Beast?
Because he's the tactician. He's probably the most intelligent of them.
Right.
Other
Oh, yeah.
than Xavier.
But
And
there's
he's one of the upperclassmen and closer to Xavier, so he's a good link to introduce the rest of them.
But if it I feel like it would, like they would try to do something more vague and probably try to use a character that, just like with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, like they would try to use somebody that was
I could see
less
Emma Frost
involved,
also
but knew about
See who?
everything.
Emma Frost.
Maybe. I was going to say either Beast or Mystique if she's still considered part of the X-Men at this point.
But they're both such high priority characters in the
That'd be
cast that's
cool.
going on right now. They're super big. Like they're the closest thing. Like they're going to be in the last film that's in from it. I feel like they might try to go something more vague, and slowly introduce that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
it's either going to be something super vague or something that everyone recognizes immediately.
To be clear, I mean Avengers 5, not Endgame.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to make we're all on the same page.
Yeah. But like actually put Gambit or
Gambit would be cool.
Gambit would be a cool first person to introduce into there. He's not a huge person, but he already knows that all these other things exist. Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. and everyone else have to know that the X-Men exist as well. How could they tie that into this already made world?
I mean,
I don't know if a lot of mutants aren't out.
yeah.
You know, that's kind of like one of the. It's really hard to tell the story after Civil War with all the mutants because
That was a
big
huge
struggle.
part. That was a huge part of Civil War was having a lot of the X-Men were in there, weren't they?
I mean,
Oh,
but our Civil War isn't Civil War though.
Right. It's different, but I mean, the idea of identity being involved as a source of conflict. That's really dips into what the struggle of the mutants is.
Right, but I don't really get that tone from it feels a lot
Civil War
more.
is a lot more political. And,
Yeah, and like geopolitical, not
Yeah.
like personal politics.
Right. But the whole aspect of just having the names listed is basically where the wrench is thrown in.
Mhm.
Right, right.
Because you'd think that S.H.I.E.L.D. would be doing their due diligence to find out anybody who had any kind of superpower. But mutants are supposed to be so numerous and subtle that it would be hard to detect them even if you were actively trying to.
I mean, I think the only way it could really make sense is if it's still like, I mean, obviously, wiping everything that we've seen off the table, it's just the original core, like 4 or 5 mutants and the professor. It's just a ragtag group. They're like in hiding and stuff. Like,
Right.
So
they're
it's
not recognized or anything. Like
a whole bunch of vague mutants, like showing off that side of the world.
right, and it could be like something like post Thanos or something. Like people with the mutant gene were like activated after the
Wasn't
whatever
After the snap?
after the snap or something.
Wasn't
That'd be neat.
wasn't the mutant gene? It had something to do with. It's the same reason that Thanos is purple. There's
It's descendants of the fucking. Oh,
what are they called?
they?
Yeah, like
Celestials, Eternals,
no, not it's
It's
the
the-
bad one of
yeah,
those.
Titans.
No.
no.
Bad one of those. Like they're
You're right on there though, Zach. It's the Celestials gave birth to the fucking Eternals, and the Eternals had the opposite to them, which was it's like some really.
starts with a D.
It's like an overarching term for.
Deviants.
Yes. Is that the Deviants?
I'm pretty sure. No, maybe it was a
That would make
gene.
sense.
It was a gene that was in them,
Right.
and maybe becoming a part of the Soul Stone, which was owned by Thanos, gave them a little bit of that. No, it sounds too stupid. I can't even. No, I don't even want to finish it.
Well, remember
I mean-
there was that retcon in we talked about a few times in the visual dictionary with Scarlet Witch to say that the was it the Mind Stone
Yeah.
may have unlocked latent abilities in her. So I
Right.
think that's kind of possibly laying the groundwork for
Because she was.
the Infinity Stones unlock like latent
Right.
abilities that people
Yeah.
already have.
Yeah, they could. It's possible that the Infinity Stones could make you express your genetic mutations.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean that'd be perfectly fine.
Right.
I'd be cool with that. Like, I mean, because Magneto would be a cool first character also for them to start out with.
I would love to see someone who is
Bad before good.
Yeah, and I don't. That's the thing I like about the X-Men is I don't really consider the Brotherhood to be bad.
No, they have different means.
Like
Yeah.
to me,
For the
it's-
same goal. It's a Malcolm X, Martin Luther King kind of deal.
Right, exactly. It's not like an ideological split as far as like a left-right good-evil paradigm, but as far as like
How do you reach that goal?
direct action versus passive action kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is a much more dynamic conflict because Magneto and Professor Xavier care about each other.
Right.
They possibly more than anybody
They're
else.
best friends.
Yeah.
They've been best friends for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have to fight each other because of their beliefs is stronger than just oh, he fucking did some shit to me before that I didn't like, so I fucking hate him.
Yeah, it was because they were best friends and
Right.
they just had they worked together in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then they were like,
No, it
nah,
doesn't-
you're
doesn't-
doing this wrong, bro. This is gonna take too long. Let's fuck it all up and just wreck shit. Kill the humans and we will be superior. It's that easy.
I mean,
Really neat. I didn't know that mutants are immune to the AIDS virus.
Wow.
They're kind of a.
I was trying to find what the thing that
They've
makes
been,
them mutant.
Right, they've
but I
been an
couldn't.
allegory for lots of different, I guess, minority
Right.
issues. Racial tensions and like homosexuality and things
Right.
like that.
Oh yeah.
The mutants.
it's always the current strife. Like if one were to come out now, I mean, probably for the next 10 years or so, we'll probably lean heavily into the trans issue a lot.
Absolutely.
It's like hitting up what's their name? Supersonic Nova Scotia. And
Mega teenage warhead.
that's what I said. And also what's her name?
Kyoko?
Yeah, Kyoko. Not what I said. But yeah, like how they're, lesbian couple. Like I'm really happy that everyone's trying to make it more of just a norm.
Right.
It's just something that happens. If they start, younger kids, if they start seeing this as a normal thing, as they get older, they're going to start to think of it as a normal thing. It's going to become a lot easier to digest.
Right.
I was in a really heated debate about Ruby earlier. Maybe
What?
Was it with Colin about Bumblebee?
it had nothing to do with Colin. Fuck Colin. But it was about Bumblebee.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
So, Nolan, you will like this news. Following the box office and critical success of Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi is currently loading up on upcoming projects with the enthusiasm of Jordan Peele after Get Out or Guillermo del Toro on pretty much any time. And today, Deadline reports that Waititi, whose TV adaptation of What We Do in the Shadows premieres later this month, who has a new movie called Jojo Rabbit coming out, and who has signed on to direct an episode of Disney Plus' The Mandalorian, is throwing another project onto his ever-going pile. A TV adaptation of Terry Gilliam's Time Bandits for Baby Driver. What?
It was Deviants, by the way.
Yeah. A TV adaptation of Terry Gilliam's Time Bandits for Baby Driver and House of Cards production company MRC Studios and Apple's thus far mysterious streaming service. Waititi is committed to writing and directing a pilot for a series based on Gilliam's appealing, rambling 1981 fantasy adventure whose tone, once described by our own William Hughes as a, quote, mixture of bitter cynicism, screwball comedy, and outright wonder, end quote, is an ideal match for Waititi's creative sensibilities.
Fucking hell yeah.
Right? Gilliam himself announced that he was working on a TV version of Time Bandits back in 2015, but given the two Helmers' respective batting averages in terms of actually finishing projects, maybe it's for the best that he turned it over to Waititi.
Waititi's such a good director.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
I mean, well, then again, I don't know anything other than Ragnarok that he's done.
He had one real recently. That was real good, but I can't remember.
I mean,
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's not the most accurate or descriptive review, but hey, he's doing shit.
I mean, for me, just on that alone, though, because I can put that in comparison to the other Thor movies and see how different it is. So
Yeah.
see how much of a voice he had in that movie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, those are completely different movies.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, like I went back and watched Avengers recently as well, and like Thor is almost completely changed as a character.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like he's done a bit of a he had goofy lines before, like in the first Thor movie and in the second Thor movie, he had
Right.
goofy lines, but nothing compared to like they just basically made him an idiot that only knows Asgard way.
His character was a lot more developed in Ragnarok, so his goofy lines were a lot more grounded and not just oh, here's the weird alien dude who's gonna just throw a one-liner too.
Basically.
Yeah, hearing him say those lines because you've heard him be so serious just kind of made it easier, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Thor 2.
What a movie.
No thanks.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't bad.
It was just not up to par.
I think that's probably my least favorite of the ones that I've seen, but that's probably my least favorite Marvel movie. It's
Still
probably
can't believe
Thor
you
2.
haven't
I know.
What movie?
Winter Soldier.
Damn right. God.
That's a real good one.
It's
I
so
know.
good.
I need to watch
Man,
it.
so as I said, I watched Avengers recently. There's a dude that's on the boat ship that is a member of Hydra that's in the second movie and is a bigger part of the second movie. He's one of the people working the computers and is a member of Hydra, and then he's also he's in that part and gets in the next movie and gets exposed. And I'm just like the consistency of everything. That's just like in Winter Soldier, there's this dude that has a Hydra guy has him at gunpoint. And he's like, you need to set off these rockets. You need to set off these motherfucking rockets. And he's like, nah, I can't, dude. I'm not like that. And he's like, well, motherfucker, I'm gonna shoot you. And then he gets saved. He's in the third.
Jesus comes to his heart?
Yes, Jesus comes to his heart, and then he ends up in Age of Ultron, being in the seat of the dude who was a Hydra member.
That's fucking weird.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Everything is like details.
that is-
Details. They're so woven.
Yeah, that's some fucking galaxy brain shit.
So Waititi directed 5 episodes of The In-Betweeners,
Hell yeah.
and 4 episodes of Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It's good. Okay.
In addition to a whole bunch of, like indie films and
That totally
stuff.
makes sense.
Yeah.
For Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Those guys are like right up each other's alley.
So and Gilliam, that's a nice match for Waititi.
That's perfect then. Because
Because Gilliam is the one who did the animations, right?
I think Gilliam was the one. Wasn't Jones the one doing the?
Yeah, it was one of the Terrys.
Yeah, I think Gilliam was the. Was he the one directing and shit?
They both directed, but I think which one directed Life of Brian? Because that's the one that.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Jason
I think
Segel.
it's Gilliam,
I think you're right.
but I don't remember because
They-
there's 2 fucking Terrys. How are there 2 Terrys?
Right. They.
There's 5 George Foremans.
And one of them looks like a goblin kind of.
I'm pretty
George
sure
Foreman or one of the Terrys?
No, George Foreman looks like the nicest guy who's ever punched somebody in the face that hard.
No, it was Jones.
It was Jones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they both did Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Like Monty Python?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. I just watched it today.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Was it the first time you watched it?
No.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't mean to be like that emotional
Okay,
about it. I'm sorry.
Gilliam's the American. He's the one who did all
Right.
the animation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. Because I love Terry Gilliam's animation style.
Yeah, it's so like effective and sparse and strange.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest selling points of the series.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's the only thing that makes it feel in any way kind of connected.
Yeah, it's also makes it very, very unique comparatively.
Yeah.
That might be the first variety show I can think of that had that kind of animation throughout. I mean, if you look back to like the Monkeys and shit like that, I guess
Right.
they're doing it too.
What was?
I just shaved. I'm sorry. I'm manipulating.
No, I can't stop because I haven't shaved. Like that, I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with you. I swear. I did not shave today, and I meant to shave today, and it's bad.
Did you
It's
shave
making
while
me-
I was gone?
I shaved right when you got there.
The first time?
No.
You shaved
How
twice.
dare you.
Yeah, I shaved twice. Whenever I shave.
I went back to his house after I got off work, and then I went to my friend's house. And then I went back to his house again.
Nice.
So, like,
That's cool.
to figure out which time.
Which time?
Which time?
He's talking about when he shaved.
Isn't there only one time? No. I guess there's separate times all over.
We're not talking about red versus blue yet. We can't get into this.
I wasn't even talking about like that. I was talking about like never mind, like time zones. Is it still the same time? Because it's
Time-
not the same time.
Time is a nebulous construct, and there's no use in us trying to define it right now.
Timeline? It's a time circle.
Time wine.
That's why clocks are
Time
round.
Warner.
Time Warner.
No.
Parsley sage.
I just fucked him up
rosemary.
so bad. He went to look at the camera to say something, and I went, nope.
And we'll be right back with the first word. And welcome to the first word. We missed a couple weeks on Genlock, so we'll hold off on that for a minute because there's obviously a lot to get into that. But first, our favorite idiots are back, and we are in for a ride.
Yeah, it's holy shit.
I like where it's going.
I do too.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like it's been a big build last season. It didn't drag for me as much as it did other people, but like I really like the way it came back. I like the way I love what's Kronos. Kronos taking the spot.
Krovos.
Yeah, Krovos.
Yeah.
Krovos. No, I should start from the beginning. It starts out with the episode 1,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it starts out with episode 2. No, it's still episode 1, technically, of season 1,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the constant thing of deja vu,
Yeah.
and then going over the
Which
next.
is exactly how they left off of last season.
Yeah.
The last line was deja vu. What even is deja vu?
Yeah.
Fucking not church being around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being real unsettling.
Dinkins being. Which, is Alpha still in there? Did he kick Alpha out? Was Alpha ever in Jimmy? Because he's in Jimmy at this point.
Right.
This is before.
Is he?
Yeah, because that was before
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Tank's not even happening now. So
Right.
Jimmy's still alive.
Right. Well, and one timeline, which is like Donut going to be like hopping from timeline to timeline and fixing them, or like what? I wonder how it's going to.
He seems like he's mainly focused on saving Wash. I think that was the last thing that he said, right?
No, well,
I think that he's just trying to fix the crack,
yeah.
but inevitably he's not going to be able to.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
yeah. One way or another, Krovos is getting out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he kind of explained to Donut that there's not a way
Yeah,
he can fix
yeah.
it.
There's literally once the paradox has been started, there's literally nothing you can do. And,
He's gonna,
You interfering makes it worse.
Right.
Yeah.
and
You-
Donut's still like, no,
yeah,
I'll find a way to stop you.
I'll fucking
was good.
shonen my way through this. He just,
Guys, with the power of friendship,
yeah.
we can do
I was about
this.
to say that. Also, within the first 5 minutes, they literally said the title of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Or
like,
of, like,
she's like, what do we
this-
call this? Like a paradox or
Like
no?
a
Like
singularity.
singularity. Oh no.
No.
That was good.
What did Donut even call it?
There was some weird term.
Threesome with cheerleaders.
That's how he said.
No, it's not.
That was a callback
Yeah.
Yeah.
to Volume 4. I think it's Volume 5. Volume 5.
Yeah.
No,
I'm pretty sure it's 5.
Volume 4 or 5.
They're all just a blur in my head now.
Yep. The timeline's all skewed.
And this isn't the first time that they've done this in Volume 4. No, it's totally Volume 5.
Yeah.
In Volume 4, Church goes back in time
It's
to
volume
try to
3 that he goes back in time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. In the
Oh wow.
you fuck.
And then the last
This is how
two
hard we can
seasons,
do.
they spent like half the season of the last two seasons saying like we didn't actually go back in time. It was this other thing.
Yeah.
Well,
That was when they got blown up by.
Right.
No, yeah, you're right.
that
That was in Volume 9.
Yeah.
Or 8. No, it was 8.
no, it was volume 3. Whenever
Whenever they didn't actually go back in time. Well,
Whenever-
whenever they talked about not actually going back in time, it was just a part of the simulation. That was
Right. Yeah.
season 8.
Yeah.
Whenever that happened, because that was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
whenever they were going through all the director's old dialogue, and
Right.
and Simmons was like, "That is phase." Like I think he said 3. Pretty sure he said 3 because it was season 3, and it was fucking
Right.
one of those.
Oh wow.
like
Your face,
That's,
your eyebrows kept getting
scenario
higher and higher.
number
Like, this is a lot.
Yeah. This is fucking daunting. Like what they're.
The
Even-
story that they've webbed.
Yeah.
Well, that and what they have to now accomplish to keep it all together. If they're trying to like undo all of the fucking like missteps that this timeline has
Yeah.
taken.
Do you
Right.
think?
have-
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, do you think it's lazy that they're just going to use old material and rewrite it?
This almost seems like more ambitious than writing something new, because they have to remake it and they have to like reframe it all in a way. Like everything has changed now because of the divergent timelines.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna end up seeing all of these different takes on things that could have happened in RVB. And
I feel like we have to do something like this to return to the status quo.
right.
Yeah.
I don't think we can really like keep going and stretching it too much farther before it has to snap back into
Yeah.
something more
Right.
recognizable
But
as red versus blue.
But I mean, where do you end something like this?
I think that whenever they
I
give
mean-
the singularity logo, you know how the crack like
Mhm.
becomes a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially what
That's the season.
Yeah, is happening.
We're going to fix the timeline
Yeah.
basically and get back to normal, where all the weird diversions and stuff didn't
Right.
happen. It's going to
Yeah.
be like season 9, where like it happened in its way,
But
but
it-
it's kind of disjointed in everything.
Yeah.
Concern I've talked to him about is with the Reds and Blues. Oh, hey, buddy.
The heater's still on.
Something he's talked to me about.
So there's a guy on YouTube called Totally Not Mark who did a couple. Hey, Falco. Who did a series of video essays on Goku and Vegeta and Frieza and I think Broly about like static characters and dynamic characters, and the thing about the Reds and Blues is, with the exception of Church, for a long time they were all very static characters. Like they were defined, but they didn't really change much with their environment until you get to Tucker.
Yeah.
Who slowly develops throughout like Blood Gulch and what you see of him in Recollections, but especially takes off in Chorus. And then obviously in season 15 and 16 you had a lot of development from Griff, and now it seems like we're getting it from Donut, which is all great. The problem with dynamic characters, the reason why like Goku as a static character can work for so long and still be like a good character, is because since he doesn't change, he doesn't have an endpoint to his story, to his arc. Whereas like a character like Vegeta or Gohan or Piccolo, you have to make that choice of, okay, do we just destroy this character's development? Do we rehash their development like we did with Vegeta? Or do we just pretty much turn them into a static character like you do with Piccolo? All of which aren't really good moves. Like Vegeta's probably the best one, but even that like is really, his development in Z is weakened by how many times we rehash that development in Super.
Right.
So obviously, like what I'm getting at is, how far can we push the Reds and Blues before we, like, once we develop all those original characters, what do we do then?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Red versus Blueverse can go on forever, but these characters, I feel like at some point we have to accept that the original crew can't be our anchor point forever. We have to have something.
Yeah, what happens when Gus dies?
Right. I mean, that's another thing. Like, just the fact that those guys are the like elders in the company. Like, not necessarily die, but like retire from it.
This is why I was worried about Griff dying whenever this last season came out. Is because he was getting so much development,
right?
And he was changing so much. It seemed like he now has a finish line,
right,
for his character. And
it's weird to think for a Red versus Blue character to think like this is the end. This is where like they're about to go.
Right.
That's a weird thought.
Yeah.
But I feel like the story has to eventually reach that territory if it's going to keep going.
Right, that's a really fucking sad thought.
I can handle one of them dying.
You know, I feel like
be a Church fan, dude.
Yeah, dude.
But it's kind of case in point because
I'm a Church fan.
I know.
I texted him and was
Everybody's a
like, "I
Church
will
fan.
set this world on fire if Church doesn't come back."
I'm sorry.
Well,
like, get
he's
used to
dead.
it. Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He is
But I mean, that's case in point. Bernie knew from the beginning that Church was going to go out
At season 13.
at season 13, whatever that meant, because Church always had an arc and a development to him, so there has to be an endpoint to a story.
It was actually convenient. Like, without Miles even knowing, he called up Bernie and he was like, "Hey, how would you feel about me killing Church in the next season?" Bernie was like, "Great, that's perfect."
I had an idea.
Yeah.
That's why on the T-shirts, Sarge's was number 1, Cabooses was -1, and Church's number was always 13.
Yep.
You know, I think it was a really good move to kill Church first in general.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just because he's the easiest to have the most connection to, and you know you're engaged with the story because it's the most dynamic of any of the characters.
Right.
And so, pulling that Band-Aid off first makes it like kind of easier to deal with the further deaths and like to to establish the universe as being one that will change permanently.
You know, I didn't like Tucker's development, or whatever you can call it, in season 15 very much. I did like his interaction with Sister in season 16, and funnily enough, episodically I didn't like 16 as much. I like 15 more, but in film version, I think I definitely prefer season 16 to season 15. But I feel like that part of Tucker's development should have happened earlier. Like, I like his, like, kind of realization of, like, him being, like, a douche and an asshole and all of that.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was kind of a little bit late. Like, it should have
Closer
already...
to like right before he had Junior, or like right after?
No, like it's like feels like that should have been like,
He's an
I don't know,
alien kid.
before.
I know.
It seems like it should have been hand in hand with what happened on the courts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
I mean-
it seems like the kind of development you would naturally have is like realizing your own like fallibility,
Right.
so that you can lead more effectively.
I mean, I feel like that started in season 15. Was him realizing that on himself. That's.
Yeah,
I mean, that was starting to be the beginning parts. Like each time that, like something that he said went wrong, he was
Right.
like, "Man, I am a fuck up. Like
Mhm.
I was so cool then, but I'm not so cool now," kind of deal.
But Tucker had the I'm a fuck up. I'm just a fucking shitty soldier just trying to
Right.
fuck around with my best friend, but I still have to fucking rise to the occasion because no one else will. He already had that development on Chorus, so it's kind of just rehashing the same thing in season 15. Again, I like his development in season 16. I just feel like he should have already had it by that point. Like,
Yeah.
it feels a little bit late. But I think that, I mean,
It almost felt like an excuse to make Sister relevant.
yeah, which I'm
Yeah.
fine with. I
It
love
most
it.
definitely
She's
was.
a great character.
Yeah.
She needs to be around.
There's only like, oh man, the only other character I can think of that would work well with Sister would be Griff, just because they're brother and sister.
Oh, okay. Getting back into Star Wars, apparently. I watched Fandom nonsense so far on Indie Carnival.
I mean, can you
Retroactive incest.
Because I mean,
Star Wars or Scarlet Witch and
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Oh my
They-
god, full circle. A trilogy of incest.
they needed a way to like quickly develop Sister, because we've had 8 more seasons to
Right.
develop Tucker and everybody else.
Yeah.
But we haven't had anything as Sister, and like the easiest way was through Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
And now, like, I mean, we got so much Sister. Everybody got so much Sister.
I think character-wise, Sarge makes the most sense to go first, but development-wise, I would
Yeah.
probably say Tucker would
Was say you shut your whore mouth. Sarge ain't going anywhere. I mean, even story development wise, now, yeah, I could still
Right.
see Sarge going before Tucker, though,
Well,
just because he's the one that wants to die in a heroic, like.
Yeah, but there's a lot more you can do with Sarge. There's a lot more like room to grow him.
Is
to
he
give
still
him
in his
like
like depressive state over not being a soldier anymore?
He's back and forth,
yeah.
yeah.
really.
Since like I watched almost all of this stuff in like the matter of 2 weeks, I can't like tell what happened when anymore.
Oh,
Remember,
and-
he finds new enemies now that he isn't like an active soldier. He's fighting gravity and shit
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
you're
and
right.
the whites.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, his depression started in season 8 whenever he figured out that the reds and blues
It was
weren't.
bullshit.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
he figured out it was all bullshit.
But then he
That's-
kind of doubles down on his belief that the blues suck.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
he still just knows in his heart. He's like, I've been around the blues. I know they suck. But man, that is
So
by
when
far.
the blues and reds show up and he gets on their side.
Yeah.
Right. The blue team.
No, that's by far one of my favorite speeches in all of Red versus Blue. Is the I'm not telling you to go. I'm not even asking.
Yeah.
That shit. Oh, and Caboose. I'm happy you're here.
Oh, the timeline
Thanks.
where
I'm really enjoying the speech so far.
the timeline where fucking Caboose and Sarge are both
Best
on the red
friends,
team.
yeah.
That's the fucking
yeah.
best.
Oh yeah. Oh man, just imagine those adventures.
Oh.
Right, you're supposed to join us for the first word.
And he's on both screens.
And in our hearts.
Yeah.
Look at his eyebrows.
That's the.
I know, it's the visor things, but...
That's what they do in the game, if you look closely. Trying to think of what else at the end. Man, I hate fucking... What's his douche? Green armor.
Ginkins.
I hate him. He's
supposed
just
to hate
such a
Yeah.
character to me.
He's a pompous ass.
Yeah.
He's your Loki character. He's your fucking mischievous dick face.
He's just poopy.
Using donut as a stress ball.
Yeah, that was good. What? To go for an end on the red versus blue thing, what situations do you think we're going to get in this season?
It's so fucking infinite.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can think of a lot.
Yeah. If any AI character could be possessed throughout this whole Divergent timeline,
Mm-hmm.
then that just opens up so many fucking... Like, Carolina is going to be unrecognizable.
Well, thinking about, like, if they're going to stick with the timeline that that we see in the first episode, the way that it ends is with Church shooting down the barrel of the tank.
Right, to stop.
Yeah, to stop that from happening. If Church doesn't die, Tex never gets called.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which is convenient.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what, I mean, do they just keep doing red and blue stuff?
Well, remember that was one timeline that we saw.
Right.
Like, we also saw one where Caboose was on red team.
Yeah, but
It could split at any point in the timeline.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm wondering if, what's his name again?
Ginkins.
Ginkins. I just hate him so much. Is he, every time he goes through that door, is he jumping into a different timeline? Is he just going right back into the same thing? Like,
I'm pretty sure he can jump around at will.
Right.
Like,
I don't think time is as much of a straight line to him. If he's acting
Yeah.
with Crowbar.
He's just able to pick a spot in the singularity and masturbate all up in it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's existing in multiple different points in the
Figuratively.
timeline at any given. I think he's like probably existing in all
Probably
of them
not.
No.
at the same time. You know,
Yeah.
he's become unstuck in time, like Billy Pilgrim in Slaughterhouse 5. He's just existing at all points in time and none of them at once.
Yeah.
That's the only way it can like truly affect all of it to make it
Well,
all come apart.
I mean, you see him in this episode. You see him like go off and hide around the corner, and like power down, kind of, and then
Right.
jump in there.
Yeah.
So is it like if he's not there, is Church there, or is he just like powered down, as if he's a robot that's powered down?
Yeah.
well, remember, he's not a robot.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
yeah.
an AI.
No.
No, he's Jimmy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
is it
Well,
Jimmy?
Well, I mean, Gankins is.
Yeah,
an AI.
yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that, like, Church in
Right.
that first episode is
Well,
a human. Well,
Right.
His body's human.
Whoever's
Yeah.
doing that voice doesn't even sound like it's Church. It sounds more
No.
like it's
No.
sounds more like it's Temple.
I'm pretty sure it's just Ginkins trying to do an impression of Church or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
kind of a shitty one.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
I've
a
always
shitty
been
one.
an asshole.
Right.
I don't know, man. It keeps me up at night. I've been thinking about it a lot.
I can't imagine how you even fight this.
You don't. That's the thing. That's just like what Krovo said. Like, there's nothing you can do. If you go do this, it's just going to make it harder.
Well, you know there's going to be some clever fucking red versus blue wraparound
Oh,
to
yeah.
this with some backdoor and logic or
I
something.
mean, maybe she has to get out for them to be able to win.
You'd have to either, I think, convince Krovos that he's fucking up or just maybe go back to whenever they fucked up the timeline in the first place.
There was another question that I had thought about before. It was the other AIs, the other gods.
Yeah.
Where are they at?
Yeah, they're probably...
Because they still got to be around. I mean, the hammer, the hammer
Right.
was in the first episode, and fucking, what's his name? Gankins kicks it off. He's just like, it's useless. A hammer that makes prisons. And so, I mean, they still got to be around. They
Right.
still got to be somewhere.
Right.
And they were like an antivirus process to stop Krovos.
Yeah, I assume they are probably going to be possessing AI in this timeline the way Genkins is.
Oh, so they're going to be trying to like help.
They might be like Project Freelancer.
Ooh.
I mean, that may be one of the things,
Yeah,
but like, I mean,
sure,
but
we might see a timeline like that.
they might end up like meeting up with Donut and doing something. But also, Donut can't just straight be like, "Hey, yo, Griff, this is an alternate reality, and we have to get out of this."
Yeah. Hey, Griff, you know how you listen to me all the time?
I mean, he could, and Griff would just be like,
Well, yeah, I figured that's gonna end up happening in like the next episode.
Right. Donut tries to explain this.
Yeah.
And
Rookie, shut the fuck up and go watch the flag.
Or, I mean, how well does he remember what happened that long ago?
Right. I mean, Donut probably pretty well since he always got shit on. He probably remembers it pretty well.
all the different hurts.
Right, he seems to.
Yeah.
I mean,
man. His butt hurt in season 16.
Yeah.
Like,
If they got to that point
powerful.
in the first episode, then all the other stuff would have had to happen prior. Like, Donut went to go get elbow grease and lighthead fluid, and like it got. I mean, Tucker's armor was black, so that still went to the same way. Like he still went through it and turned black and whatnot.
Right.
They were still behind the Jeep like they were in season 1.
Right.
So everything happened the same. I don't know.
Well, that's
man.
just in that
I'm
one
overthinking
timeline,
everything.
so-
So would
You got to think about it. All of that is fluid now. None of that is set in stone. Because if it's all constantly cracking and
Right.
everything's changing each
yeah,
time.
Yeah. So it's
I guess-
nothing's going to be recognizable until they find a way out of this somehow.
Right.
I guess just most curious about like when's not Caboose? When's Donut going to be jumping in? Where is he jumping into? Is he going back to BGC?
Yeah.
Are we going to start in Halo 2? We're going to start in Halo 3?
Usually, whenever
Halo 4?
usually whenever RVB like goes back through the timeline in some way,
They start in the beginning.
it usually happens sequentially in some way. Yeah. So we'll probably start in the beginning. Again, I wonder if we're going to just go to one timeline and stick there, or if it's going to like kind of anthology-esque, like season 14-esque of like go here for a couple episodes and fix this, and jump over here, and and every time make the cracks even bigger because you're not letting those timelines full out in their normal capacity. Like you're interfering with the timeline each time and making more cracks in it, and eventually letting Krovos out, and then what the fuck happens then? Like it's like just white space, like all time just kind of collapses in on itself, and Donut becomes a time stone, like. But well, we're in for a wild ride in Red versus Blue, and that's the first word. And welcome back to Fandom Nonsense.
I'm Zach.
Click in the link below to go watch the full episode of the first word. Thursdays on the Fandom Nonsense channel. But back to random conversations about nothing and everything. Let's see, we just watched the
You seen the new Aladdin trailer?
that thing, yeah.
Oh, I've seen one of them.
Well, the newest one came out today.
Okay, so no.
So no, it doesn't look bad.
I have a few reservations.
I mean, yeah, I'm reserved.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of like the music being the exact same that it is. Like A Whole New World came on in the midst of it, and their voices are almost like they're trying their best to like
It sounds
meld it right in there.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like delivery, it could be the same.
You
people
could add in a
singing
little
it.
bit
I don't
more
even know.
auto tune and Jasmine, but it's the same.
I didn't even really notice much tune. Of course, I only listened to it a couple times and didn't really like. I was listening to like the character and delivery was just like spot on to the original.
Which I didn't entirely mind. I love that song.
But
Well, the song's been stuck in my head since
one
then.
thing I did mind was there was a little tease of a Will Smith rendition of
Of You Never Had a Friend Like Me. Oh man, but you also see plenty of scenes of the fucking Make Way for Prince Ali. What is that song?
Prince Ali, glorious he,
Fabulous
Ali,
he.
whatever it is.
But
I kept in touch with the spirit of the song, Aaron. Fabulous.
I mean, and that's what I feel like they're gonna do with You Never Had a Friend Like Me.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be a very Will Smith rendition version of it.
Oh, for sure. I'm just
it's gonna be you ain't never had a friend like me. Here come the men in black.
See, in my mind, I was just thinking
Come on,
Fresh
Aladdin,
Prince
let's
of
get jiggy
Bel-Air,
with it.
but with the genie singing it.
Yo, this is a story all about how
My
I turned
lamp
into a
got-
genie. My lamp got rubbed and turned upside down.
now there were a few diversions to the template. Like there was a giant Iago
Yeah,
chasing Aladdin.
it's gotta be Iago. There's a spot in the midst of them in the trailer doing a whole new world song, where you see Aladdin riding on the lamp through town, broad daylight, and you just
You mean
see
a
a
carpet?
giant what? What did I say?
Riding on
That's
the
what I
lamp.
meant. Lamp?
Yeah, that's much
He's riding on
different,
the
actually.
lamp, but no, he's riding on carpet.
Is he going for tips, or what's he doing?
No, but he's riding on carpet, and like you just see him like move, like do like a little swirl thing, and then you just see this giant bird crash into a building, and then like flow this way and start moving forward,
Yeah.
as if like Jafar made him giant
Right.
and started fucking with him.
Which would be really cool because I feel like that was one of the big issues I have with Aladdin is like that part of the movie, like the third act when Jafar gets the sorcerer powers and everything, isn't really explored all that much, especially once he gets the genie powers. I would like to see that like expanded out a little bit more.
Yeah, seeing him turn Iago into.
I also thought Iago was very like toned down as a character until they got into like the third movie
Yeah.
for Aladdin.
Was Iago in the third movie?
I think he was only in the second.
No,
Yeah.
he's in the third, but he was just one of the.
Isn't the third the Prince
I
of
don't.
Thieves?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think Iago was in the third movie.
He is. I'm pretty sure
For like
he
a
was.
split second, he's in like a room of gold, and that's about it. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
the Room of Gold's all the way at the end of the movie, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't there. It was only in the Room of Gold was only Aladdin and his dad.
Yeah, most of it's Aladdin in the fucking Den of Thieves or whatever.
Yeah.
But
It was it's Aladdin, Genie, a little bit of Jasmine, mostly Aladdin and
Yeah,
his
with
dad.
yeah,
Aladdin and his dad.
of course everyone knows you have to watch the animated series to really get the full picture of Prince of Thieves.
I never watched all the animated series.
It's good.
Is
That-
Robin
that
Williams a
and-
genie in the animated
Timon and
series?
Pumbaa.
No,
really
it's
good.
Dan Castellaneta.
Ooh, yeah.
Homer Simpson.
He was that in the animated series as well.
Yeah.
Then I probably have watched some of the animated series, but I just didn't care.
Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa was good, and Hercules animated series.
Never saw
You
that
know,
either.
the Little Mermaid one was actually pretty good too.
It was all right. Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the Buzz Lightyear one?
Yeah, that one's good too.
Oh, the 2D
It's like he's
animated
real.
one?
Like he's,
Yeah,
it's
it was
like
pretty alright.
The actual adventures of
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like if we were a kid in that universe, we got to watch the cartoon that those kids watched before they got a Buzz Lightyear toy.
Yeah.
That kind of deal.
Yeah.
Ninjas of Star
kinda.
Command. Ooh, that'd be something good to couch lock.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch the Lilo and Stitch runoffs?
I don't know if I ever saw that.
I didn't really love.
Oh yeah.
With the six.
yeah.
I didn't have
The
Disney
Stitch?
Channel when I was a kid.
Yeah.
This wasn't on Disney Channel. It was on like the side.
XD.
Yeah. Which is what the Space Adventures also.
I don't think
came
I ever
on.
really watched that at all. Because anytime I ever was on that, like,
It was the only channel
that
my
channel?
dad had at his house whenever I used to live with him.
yeah. I mean, the only thing I ever watched on, like, no, I didn't watch anything on Disney because anytime I ever got on XD, it was always just the live action stuff. And I didn't give a shit about the live action stuff. That's So Raven, Zach and Cody.
Well,
I
come
don't-
on, that's right.
It was. I mean, it could have been,
It
but
gets
that
there.
wasn't what I was trying to watch whenever I was a
The
kid.
American
Yeah, I get
Teenage
that.
Dragon also came on XD, and that was pretty
What was it?
amazing.
Jake
Jake Long, the
yeah.
American Teenage Dragon.
That sounds familiar. Sounds dumb.
That was good.
It sounds like
I-
it sounds like them trying to make a live action Jackie Chan Adventures.
No, it was animated.
I was.
Mhm.
Was it like what kind of animated?
Like it actually kind of resembled. No, I guess it was closer. Huh? It looked. What did it look like?
I know what it is
I
in my
know
head,
what
but I
it-
don't know how to
yeah.
describe it.
Yeah, there's.
It's not as angular, but it's. I mean, kind of that.
I was gonna say Danny Phantom, but it's
Yeah,
not, it's not
Yeah.
Danny
Danny
Phantom, Invader Zim, like
Yeah.
that.
More
early two-
towards Invader
like,
Zim.
Yeah, that
so,
early.
like
again,
Fairly
not
Odd Parentsy.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bold outlines.
Mhm.
Yeah,
hard angles and everything. Very early 2000s.
for
Um,
sure. No.
animation.
What was cool about the Lilo and Stitch cartoon, which I'm now remembering I did see a lot of, is that every week it would be a different one of the experiments that got out, and so you'd see a different like weird power,
Mm-hmm.
and it was neat.
And it was all just like one-off episodes. Occasionally, like the experience
Yeah.
would pop back up, like in their backyard. They needed something.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one that actually kept reoccurring besides the one that Jumba had. I can't remember the one who always ate sandwiches. And it was one that Stitch was supposed to fall in love with, which was just the pink version of Stitch.
I remember something like that vaguely.
Magenta.
She was in like the last Lilo and Stitch movie that they put out.
Yeah. I've never seen a single Lilo and Stitch movie, but I've seen some of the first one.
I watched the first one. I wasn't really huge on Lilo and Stitch, so I didn't really care that
I
much
really
about
liked that one.
It was good from what I saw, but it was just I fell asleep and I've never tried again. I'd probably enjoy it.
Ohana means family.
It sounds like me and the Never-Ending Story. I tried to watch it 6 times and always fell asleep within the first 5 minutes.
So you've never made it to Artax.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Get sad.
Yeah. Oh, Artax. That's one of the first movies I remember crying about. That wasn't the reason I cried, though. Oh, it was the end. It was the end when they're sitting there screaming for each other, and at the same time, the wolf, the giant wolf, is like hiding in the cave, and all you can see are his eyes and fucking D'Artagnan. What's his name?
It's a weird name like that.
Artagnan. No. Atreyu.
Atreyu.
Yeah. Like they're screaming back and forth, and he's getting closer to this cave where that wolf is. The wolf's just waiting for his moment to pounce, and I'm sitting there like, I can just remember vividly just crying like, you're gonna die.
Is this something that's like worth actually sitting down and trying to watch?
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's a reason.
Because I was very,
It's-
very young when I tried to watch it.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
obviously dated now.
Yeah,
But
it's like the Labyrinth.
yeah,
It's worth watching, but you're gonna be like, oh, this came out
yeah,
when it came out.
yeah. You can definitely tell that it is an older movie, but at the same time, the story itself
haven't seen
is
The
pretty
Labyrinth.
okay.
It's really charming.
Spe-
It's like
and
undeniably
and
charming.
especially like with the way it's like fourth dimensional, but not fourth dimensional in like a really weird, fun kind of way. With the boy reading the story
Yeah,
up in his attic and everything, and
Yeah,
everything feeling like it's real.
I still haven't seen The
got
Labyrinth.
that,
I thought I was watching The Labyrinth, but I was actually watching Dark Crystal once.
Those are two completely different movies.
I was also very young, and my dad just handed it to me and said it was The Labyrinth. And
Yeah.
I was like,
I-
sure, Dad.
I thought you were going to say you thought it was Pan's Labyrinth.
No.
That reminds me of that time I thought I was watching Citizen Kane, and I was actually watching Ernest Goes to Hollywood. Confusing day. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it started off in the credit sequence. He had already like gone through that, so I didn't see the title screen. I was like, this doesn't look like what I thought it would.
Where's David Bowie? Where is he? Where's that guy? Oh, is he the wizard?
I thought I was watching Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Turns out it was Triumph of the Will.
Oh man.
I don't know why, but everything that everybody said, like for a movie they thought was one thing was another thing. I was thinking like they were gonna say something completely different. Like you said something, but you thought it was Citizen Kane. I thought you were gonna say Man on Fire. Have you ever seen that movie?
I probably would have been closer. Have you guys ever seen A Serious Man?
No.
Every time I look in the mirror.
That's not right.
I'm a serious guy. I was very serious today. I've been serious all day today.
No, it's stressful.
It is stressful. I'm a stressful, serious man.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of the movie.
So the movie's about me.
Yes. Somebody filmed you.
Looking in the mirror every day.
It's just
That's all the movie is.
it's
It's just
110 minutes of Aaron staring into a fucking
just me
mirror.
again, like, piece of shit. I love you, piece of shit. No, that totally sounds like me. Sounds perfect. Sounds like a great movie.
What else we got?
Well, there's another movie that's coming out on May 30th. It is the animated movie of Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
March
Okay.
30th.
That's what I said.
I know, just reinforcing what
Yeah.
you said. Make
Yeah.
sure they heard you.
March 30th.
Did I say March? 100%.
I have no idea what you said.
You said-
I said one of the M's. Definitely one of the M's.
Yeah.
But the trailer for it came out today, and it's like it's all four of them, and they're coming in, and they're like Yeah, we were tracking down Shredder, and we've heard these rumors of this like
Batman.
but they were thinking that he was going to be like they are,
Yeah.
like they were gonna anthropomorphic like
a man.
a man bat, but
They said like bat creature or something like that to that effect.
yeah, but of course he wasn't. And then they see that, and then like Shredder and Ra's al Ghul team up. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I would love to see Batman be like confused when they're confused that he's not an actual bat. He's like, "What do you mean I'm not a bat?"
Well, man, the guy, I don't know who's doing the voice for Batman, but he sounds like he's trying his best to do a
Kevin Conroy?
He sounds like he's trying so hard to be Kevin Conroy,
That's not
but he
good.
can't be Kevin Conroy because Kevin Conroy is the only Kevin Conroy that can Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with that. But another like basically like Ra's al Ghul and Shredder team up.
That makes sense.
Yep. They team up. So the Foot Ninja and what are
they called? The Ninja Clan?
Yep.
What the fuck are they?
The drag.
The Hand? No.
No, that's Marvel.
Yep.
They're just the foot.
It's the Foot and Teenage
Well,
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah,
Oh, it is.
Foot's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
Talking about Ra's al Ghul.
It's ninjas. The League of
League of Shadows.
Yeah.
Shadows, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't say League of
Careful,
Assassins.
buddy.
Yeah. No, the League of Shadows, they they basically team up and then they go break into Arkham and break everyone out of Arkham. They're like, this is the guy
Of course.
this is the
Of
guy
course
that
they do.
you see, this is the guy that we can use to keep Batman out of our way. And then you see a light shine on. Guess who it is?
Right.
Guess who it is?
Joker? Killer Croc?
No, you were right on the first one.
Oh, okay. You know what? Fucking Gotham, put your fucking villains in different buildings. This keeps happening.
Like make a second or third Arkham that you can just separate them all from.
No, hold on. This keeps happening at the insane asylum that the Wayne Foundation obviously funds, that Bruce Wayne puts all of these villains into, and they keep breaking out.
Yeah.
Huh? Weird.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa, is this all going back into like Bruce Wayne wants them to come out so he can keep being Batman?
Who's
there
gonna
is-
fucking
there-
punch? I'm
Yeah.
Mr. Kung Fu.
Yeah, it's like-
Bruce Wayne is the greatest villain in Gotham because there is no monetary incentive for Bruce Wayne to actually do something about the crime and poverty in Gotham City on an actual structural level, even though he has the power to do so.
That's very true. You know, he could just like end poverty in Gotham if he wanted to, but he doesn't. He just wants to punch thugs.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, swooped in and fucking ninja kicked him in the face. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
it's
just
like-
trying to feed his family, Batman. Jesus Christ.
It's like Gotham still sucks even with the villains gone. It's like Gotham just always sucks.
Yeah.
It's like Batman could do something better about it. He needs to become Owlman.
I mean, even you get rid of all the villains, the Gotham is just a seeding ground for that to happen anyway. Like
Right.
you can lock all of them up forever, or kill them all, and there would still be more that would pop up. That's
Yeah.
why Batman has such a robust rogues gallery, because you can have 20 of them locked away. Then here's this new guy who's fucking who got hit with fucking chemical gas because we have a fucking oil leak that we're not fucking doing anything about.
But the movie looks pretty cut and dry. Honestly, it's like a
Hey,
they're-
what if?
Yeah, hey, they're here. It didn't actually you couldn't actually see if it was like the TMNT went through a portal or something like that. It was more along the lines of they were just like, oh hey, we're in Gotham City. I heard there was a bat here. So like maybe Gotham City is just a separate city from New York. That's what it seemed like, but I don't know if that's the way it's going to be in the actual movie.
I mean,
Gotham is based off of New York.
Yeah, that's how it is in DC, right?
Yeah.
There isn't a New York.
I
And
mean, it seems more like Flint now, but. By the way, his name, Batman, is played by Troy Baker.
Troy Baker, really?
Mm-hmm.
What else is he? I know that name.
yeah.
Let's see. He was Joel in The Last of Us Part 2.
That's neat.
Cool.
He has a lot of characters in the Avengers Assemble TV series, which is actually pretty good.
But we talked about Troy Baker specifically, like
Um,
last time.
Let's see.
We're over here.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
I trying to see anything.
Yeah, we got into a conversation like this. Like, what's he been in?
like specific.
He was like, oh, he was in Dragon Ball Z. Or one of the Dragon Balls
Like one of the games or the shows?
show.
I got you.
He played one of the people I know you didn't like.
In the show?
Mm-hmm.
Who did I like in the show?
You just didn't like their name. Starts with a G, I think?
It's not Jiren. Jiren doesn't start with a G anyway. But Goku, Gohan, Goten.
There is a Jiren that starts with a G in Dragon Ball, though.
Is there?
Yeah, in the first tournament. He's a giant dragon.
Oh, yeah. That guy was... Oh, yeah, no, because he comes back later on and King Piccolo fucking kills the shit out of him.
He's also in a filler episode right after the tournament wherein he helps the Indian dude get water to his village.
Okay, he's a lot of like one-off characters, I guess, in Young Justice. Brian Markov, Geoforce, Simon X, Nathan Bliss, Mr. Bliss, announcer, Bash Bashford, Hot Lava, Jakar Marlowe, Hoodie Boy, and Henry Fifth.
Hoodie Boy.
Hoodie Boy.
What powers... All right, so... No. We're going to stop there. What powers does Hoodie Boy have?
He has the amazing ability to warm the sides of his head and somewhat hide his identity from behind.
From behind and the sides, he can hide his identity. Fighting crime in the nighttime. Hoodie Boy. What a name. Our Man's cooler than that.
Our Man makes sense, though.
He's actually super cool.
Yeah.
I actually really like Our Man.
He doesn't.
He can do any. He can pick one superpower and have it for an hour.
He's our man.
If you could pick one superpower to have for an hour, what would it be?
I mean, hoodies are cool.
I'm Quarter Zip Man.
I was gonna say quarter sleeve.
Okay, no, a full zip with a pocket that still goes all the way through.
Holy shit.
Yes.
No, you're
That's monstrous.
testing fate.
That doesn't
Okay.
even make sense. That
Science has gone
disobeys
too
the
far.
laws of physics.
I know. That's what
You could
fucking,
do it.
You
that's
could
what
do
fucking
it.
superpowers are, man. Like, you gotta fucking go for the gold here.
That's a lot. Like, but the pocket would have to be outside the zipper.
Right.
It's fucking like trans-dimensional and shit.
No,
So you would have to
just
zip
could- you could-
underneath
no, no,
the
no.
hood.
No. Yeah.
It's a
What?
superpower.
No,
it doesn't matter.
Thank you.
It's magic. We don't have to explain it. No, what you do is you'd make
It's
like
a pocket dimension.
a cloth tube, and then you attach it on the ends. You sew it in on the ends, and then you just put your hands in the cloth tube.
So the superhero wouldn't fight crime necessarily, but just own the greatest hoodie shop of all time.
Yes.
I mean,
You could fight crime that way. You
Yeah.
know what he does with all of his hoodie sales? He puts it back in.
Yeah, he doesn't really need to.
They
It's,
spend-
it's on his crime fighting's on the back burner, you know.
They spend it on education and transportation, infrastructure, basic things. Keeping children off the streets and in hoodies.
Oh, we were talking about Troy Barker
Baker.
sorry. On the 5th because he was the voice of Batman in Batman vs. Predator.
Oh, full
neat.
circle.
Yeah.
He plays in Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah,
We also
were
talked about
there.
that.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's the thing. Yeah.
yeah.
We had that conversation.
And
it
because he
it
plays
was garlic.
Ginger.
Huh?
Yeah.
Ginger and Garlic Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger Garlic Jr.
Oh, now I'm hungry. Fuck.
Yeah. I want some Italian.
They should make a Dragon Ball themed restaurant.
They do.
They have at least one.
There's one in Nashville. They
Is it?
serve ramen.
Just ramen though? I mean, you'd think they would serve everything that's been mentioned as a character in Dragon Ball.
I mean,
They probably have like the little rice cakes and all that different who knows blah blah blah.
which no food has ever looked more appetizing than a fucking rice cake in
Yeah.
like Pokemon or Dragon Ball.
right.
Fruits basket.
Those cakes.
But just a standard like anime like
Yeah.
rice ball.
Yeah, it just has like a little bit of seaweed paper on it. It's just like fluffy and white and just, oh my god. Looks like it tastes like
I mean,
just joy.
yeah, like
There's
realistically, it looks awful. But
Yeah, right. In the real world, it's like a ball of nothing. Whenever you
Right.
bite into it, you're like, oh, that has a texture to it. I guess it's a thing.
Yeah, it's called Supa Saiyan. Saiyan for some reason. But it's supposed to be Saiyan. I'm not even saying that correctly.
Super Saiyan?
Yeah, but it's Supa, and then Saiyan isn't spelled correctly.
Soup, as in S-O-U-P-A?
Yeah.
How's Saiyan spelled?
Sayyiyann.
Saiyan!
Saiyan.
Saiyan! Super Saiyan!
What does that translate to?
Saiyan?
It's in Orlando. It doesn't matter.
It's Super Orlando Saiyan!
Of all places, I thought it would have been California. It's like the wrong coast. Man, no, I feel like that should be a thing. That isn't that.
She's good.
Are you
Okay.
dying, Aaron?
Well, he's about to be.
My back! Oh, that's all. Nothing. I'm good now. I exhaled. I gotta pop my back. I'm sorry. I gotta...
You're good.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I hope that was a chair, but that sounded...
Yeah, it was all me.
You made of wicker?
I am Nicolas Cage.
Oh man, the Wicker Man sequel, where he's like...
Is it still Nicolas Cage?
Huh?
In the Wicker Man sequel?
No, there's no Wicker Man sequel. I'm saying there should be
Oh.
one. Wherein Nicolas Cage is a man made of wicker who fights crime.
No.
No, but that was actually like a really good movie. When
Wicker
it was-
Man? It was okay.
No, when it was made the first time. And then the Nicolas Cage one is kind of weird and out of left field, and the acting's all fucked up.
Wonky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really confusing. The progression of it all was like, even though I've only seen that movie once, I still I remember that movie very well. And it was a long time. I saw it when it first came out.
Yeah.
But
The bees! They're in my eyes! They're in my mouth!
Okay.
okay.
That's happens.
Moving on.
Yeah.
That's about as convincing as that too.
Well, I really, really loved Spider-Verse.
Join the club.
Right, but
Is it a club?
It should be.
there should be, and you know, well deserved on the Oscar win. But I'm always weary whenever anybody jumps from one good film to like, oh, we've got quote 7 or 8 years of films in development for this next thing. Recently, Sony scored a major achievement with the Oscar-winning Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now it looks like Sony is planning to expand its Marvel presence to the small screen as well. In an interview with Variety, Sony Pictures Television chairman Mike Hopkins discussed the company's plans to bring their Marvel characters to TV. We're developing a lot of Marvel-related content, and I think we'll be out in the market very soon with something really big and transformational for us. Because we've not done any shows with Marvel before with Marvel IP. So that's a big development that we're on to. Okay, I'm actually a little bit less hesitant about that. Variety notes that even without the wall crawler himself, Sony still has over 900 Spider-Man adjacent characters at their disposal. Ugh. Additionally, Hopkins went on to say that the studio is, quote, pretty far down the road in terms of working through which characters we think could be their own star of a series.
So it's not going to keep the same cast?
I'm sure the first thing we're probably going to see is developing the characters that we saw in Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But I think this may be hinting at maybe things like the Spider-Girl team up movie, or what was it, like Morbius or something, may not be movies in the end. Sony Pictures Chairman Tony Vinciquerra, also made it clear that the studio is in it for the long haul. We have the next 7 or 8 years laid out as to what we're going to do with that asset, and that will not only be on the film side, it will be on the TV side. Our television group will have its own set of characters from within that universe that we seek to develop. Okay, so then maybe not. Maybe the ones introduced in Spider-Verse will get developed in the film side and will be more introduced to other characters on the TV side. But the Jared Leto Morbius movie is already in development, so that's kind of off the table. I think the same thing for Kraven and Black Cat, Silver Sable, and all of those. So
Is
I
it Jared
wonder.
Leto Morbius movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Neat.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of Spider-Man characters, but I mean, come on, you're already like digging down to like Silver Sable and Morbius and stuff. Like, how many characters can you really like develop a TV series for? I mean, I guess
I think you could with Morbius. That's pretty strong for that, but I don't. Silver Sable.
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like with them having Leto, I think they're still doing a Morbius movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what characters are really left that could hold their own? I'm still wondering if like Kraven and Morbius can hold their own in a film.
I think Kraven could definitely hold his own in the film.
I don't know. You'd have to.
I think we'd have to have like a little bit of a Kraven in another movie where somebody else is the main bad, and then have him come in.
I mean, you don't have to have it like where Kraven is the bad guy. You can have it be from Kraven's perspective. You just need to have that character, and it could be Venom, and that would be an interesting twist.
Yeah, have him hunt Venom.
Right. But you have to have like some kind of Spider-Man character for him to be hunting to tell that story.
Yeah, Kraven like definitely requires a strong tie to another character or like a major set piece involved to have any kind of relevance.
That's what I was saying. Like, put him in a previous movie, like involving him, but he's not actually the main focus of it all. Have him in the back line, and then like save him up for a later time. Kind of like the Mind Stone in Avengers, or the Tesseract itself in Avengers.
Right. Or like any number of things in Avengers.
Yeah. Like just play it smart. Put him in a little bit, and then pull him forward for something later, as long as you're able to make it work.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. It's just like, especially with a story like Kraven's Last Stand, you have to have some kind of opposition to him. It doesn't have to be Spider-Man. You can do something different with it. You just have to have something for him to like be hunting and have that struggle against in that story. But as long as you have that, I think you're right. I think Kraven can hold his own in a movie.
Yeah, you'd have him hunting Rhino. That'd be cool. Kind of have like a might even be able to draw parallels between that and poaching and things like that. Because it'd be really easy to tie that into Kraven's whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say, I don't really. I know he has. I know most of the people in Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. I think Rhino would be maybe the easiest, but I don't know about coolest one. So, I mean, how are you gonna do Rhino now? Is he still just gonna be in a suit? I don't really know that. How did Rhino become Rhino?
He was just like a thug who like got in with Kingpin or
and it's just some kind of like strength serum, right?
Yeah, it's like a strength serum and it's the suit.
Yeah.
But he's not like a really intellectual character. I can't even remember like him having.
I mean, I honestly.
Did he not have powers?
No. I mean, he has the powers you would assume of a Rhino.
Right.
Like that's how he got his namesake, I think, originally, and then the suit kind of followed that.
So he's like a Kroger brand juggernaut.
Yeah, sure. In his way.
Yeah, he's not unstoppable.
He's less
but he can go
formidable than
through
Juggernaut.
stuff.
Yeah. Right.
That's what rhinos do.
Right.
Rhinos go through buildings all the time. That's just that's just rhinos.
Any of the New York jungle Spider-Man villains could serve as fodder for Kraven, probably.
True, but I think if
I think Mysterio and Kraven wouldn't work too well.
No, but he's not. He wasn't what I was talking. Like the animal themed Spider-Man villains.
What other animal? Oh, well, Lizard Man,
Scorpion, Vulture.
God, holy shit!
Yeah. Although I think if they're going to keep it true to the tone as much as they can of the original, I think that the only really way to go is with Venom. Because if you go with another bad guy, you have to establish that other bad guy as well.
Right.
And there's no like, whichever side wins, there's no like
Payoff.
and
Yeah.
conflict and everything. Yeah. So, and again, we've already been introduced to Venom and that character established. So,
Yeah. It also would probably be harder on Kraven to hunt an alien.
right. And that, I mean, if he's like the greatest hunter in the world, that seems like honestly a bigger game than
Right.
a spider.
Right, which is his whole deal, is that he
Yeah.
wants the biggest challenge of the hunt. He's like a fucking... He's an adaptation of that whole idea of the most dangerous game being man. You know? A fucking short story.
Is that what it's called?
Most dangerous game?
Is that what the book's called? There's a book
Yeah.
about a dude who, like, there's these people.
Yeah,
like,
he gets stranded on an island.
They get
dude
stranded on
takes
an
him
island,
in,
and
is
this guy
like, "Hey,
finds
I'm
him.
gonna hunt you.
Yeah,
by
he's
the
gay. He's got like a bodyguard kind of dude named Ivan. That,
Right.
Yeah.
He's got a gun with a single bullet in it.
Yeah,
The dude ends up setting a bunch of traps in the
Yeah.
forest.
like they're incredibly like
Yeah.
outmatched, blah 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 kind of deal.
Do you have anything else?
No,
Cool. Because I want to end on this, because this is a very exciting story for me. We still do not have a trailer, not even a teaser, or a title for Star Wars Episode 9, but we do have some news.
Still think it's Endgame.
Oscar Isaac confirms that Star Wars Episode 9 Endgame is the end of the Skywalker saga.
Okay, fucking alright.
The final chapter in the current Star Wars saga is only a few months away. While there's still a lot of questions regarding how things will wrap up, one thing seems to be certain. The Skywalker saga will wind down with Episode 9. Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, confirmed that during a recent appearance on the Today Show.
Oh.
It is the end of the entire Skywalker saga, he said. 9 stories. This is the culmination of the entire thing. What JJ has done in the entire Lucasfilm is incredibly fulfilling. It's also special for us because you get to learn a lot more about these characters. Isaac couldn't say anything about the film or its secrets. However, he did talk about Carrie Fisher, the late actress who portrayed Princess Leia. Previously unused footage will be used in Episode 9, which we already knew. So, cool.
so it's basically saying, hey, Leia's gonna die in this movie.
Oh, we already
We already know
right,
she's gonna
yeah.
die in this movie, but
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure we'll see, like, it really depends on what they do, but I'm sure, like, whatever happens with Rey, we'll see her story going forward, and Kylo, which I kind of feel like he'll probably die, even if it's, like, sacrificial.
you think he'll die at the end of this?
Probably. I think that the Skywalker line is just going to end, like permanently, and because then
Well,
we
he's
kind
not
of
like fully a Skywalker.
I mean, it's
He's
still
got the blood.
yeah.
he's
it's fine.
he's like 25% Skywalker.
That's
He's
enough.
a Skywalker as Luke's kids would be. Like he's just like
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
like bloodlines
fair.
dilute until
He's
you
technically
start,
a Solo, but he still has Skywalker blood in him.
yeah, and bloodlines dilute until you do the royal thing. So
Oh man. Yeah, I'm glad we don't have any Skywalker incest keeping this saga on life support.
That'd be weird. That'd be super weird.
I'm glad that Fox shot that down whenever Lucas tried it.
Did you try that? Oh, Episode 4.
And 5.
I thought was it just 5, or well?
No, in
What,
5.
did he originally plan for them to be brother and sister?
No, he planned for 7, 8, and 9 to be Luke finding his sister,
Who was not Leia?
who was not Leia. And then, like while he was doing Episode 6, he was like, "This is probably just quicker. I'll just do it like this."
Yeah, but you made him kiss. Yeah, we'll get over it.
It's
They
alright.
didn't know. It's
They didn't
fine.
know.
It's cool.
Retroactive incest.
Accidental incest.
Accidental retroactive. Accidental retroactal incest.
That sounds so dirty.
That is a fucking band name if I've ever heard one.
Retroactive accident. Wait.
It's like
Retro dental
Yeah.
Retro Dental.
Yeah.
Yeah, retro dental.
axle active. That is metal.
This is like a prog band where like the bassist has like a 7-string bass and the drummer is like invisible behind fucking rack toms and
Retro dental axle active.
Incest.
I don't like when you say it separately from me. I don't like that at all.
And say the full thing.
Retro dental axle Say it 5 times fast.
say it 9 times just as fast.
I really hope that after this is over, that Disney and Lucasfilm take some risks with Star Wars. Like, don't get done with the Star Wars with the Skywalker saga just to make like a bunch of anthology films about stuff that I don't really need to see.
Or
Continue an awesome new story.
Right.
But don't start another parallel kind of saga.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to see that same story again.
Yeah.
I would love to see because the Old Republic era is a completely like blank canvas that's just empty
Just
right
barely been touched on by
Yeah.
video games that aren't even necessarily canon.
now. Oh yeah, they're absolutely not. Like the old ones aren't canon. And I can't think of anything new that's really.
I don't know if the major plot points in the Old Republic, that MMO that came out, or
I'm pretty sure that was pre-buyout, wasn't it, or was that after? I can't
that
remember.
was pretty recent, but I don't know if it was pre-buyout or not.
Right, but even so, like there's still, even if that timeline is taken care of, you can go forward or backwards, either direction, 1,000 years or so, and have a completely different period to jump in and tell another 6-film saga, a completely different and
New Jedi, like a new, like what's happened later on. Wait, you saying no
Even-
Jedi?
yeah,
no,
go
no,
pre-Jedi
no,
or,
no. I'm like the birth of the Jedi Order.
Yeah. The birth of the Sith, how
Right.
they moved from
Oh,
being
like
a Rachel
going
group.
all the way back
Yeah.
to a
Old Republic.
long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Yeah.
Whenever you get done or you get to a stopping point with The Walking Dead, you should read the Tales of the Jedi comics because those are really good. They're like set 1,000 years, I think, before the Knights of the Old Republic video games, and that'd be really good games to play them.
If only for the story. Those are really good games.
Yeah.
The gameplay actually holds up too.
Yeah,
Very-
it does.
I mean, I've
it's
never had a
Bioware.
reason like not to play it. I just haven't played it.
If I can remember my Steam password, I can. I'm pretty sure I have the first one. Maybe I may have both.
It's gonna have to be a super good game for me to get invested into it.
If you just try to blow through the story, it's probably like 25 hours per game, which is relatively short for an RPG.
Yeah.
Like that. But you know, it's BioWare, and they've been.
I know how
doing
BioWare works.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
that
yeah.
same kind of combat
I
model.
know me a BioWare
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, you probably played
Fucking Dragon Age, fucking Mass Effects
Effect.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I've run the whole gamut. Gambit.
Fucking love Dragon Age.
Dragon Age is so good. Oh,
I have,
it's
like-
such a good game.
I had the first 3 compendiums.
Yeah?
Like those big, thick books. I
Yeah.
only know where number 1 is now, but
I didn't have any of them.
I'm not sure
They're so-
how
so
adventurous
good.
I want them
Favorite
to be
character.
with Episode 9.
I mean,
out of all the games,
No, just one.
just the first
I haven't
one.
played the third one. I haven't played the Inquisition.
Have you played the second one?
The
Yeah.
older I get, the
Okay.
more
Doesn't count,
safe
though.
Jedi
First one's the best
feels
one still.
to me, and I don't want it to feel safe, but I definitely feel like The Last Jedi is the like stretching the envelope of this trilogy, and I'm thinking it needs to go like too far out of the
Right.
box. But I really don't know. Like, I haven't seen anything for it, so I don't really know
Right.
what I'm to expect. Honestly, like Return is easily my least favorite movie of the original trilogy, and Revenge of the Sith is easily my favorite movie of the prequels.
Right.
You think Luke will be in this one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
gonna see him?
Force Ghost, but yeah, I definitely think that he'll be in there.
Well, yeah, obviously Force Ghost.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely think. I think that I yeah probably
We're gonna get full body or just voice.
No, I think we're gonna get full body. I think we're gonna get full body Luke, Yoda.
You think Leia's gonna get? I don't think Leia's gonna even deserve a Yoda.
What?
Like, why would Leia or not Leia? God damn it,
Rey?
Rey. Yeah, I'm stuck in the past, bro.
I thought you were saying you didn't think Leia was going to be a Force ghost.
No.
Which
I mean, she would.
I agree
I
with,
feel like
but
she would easy. I mean, I feel like she would become a Force ghost faster than Luke would. Honestly,
I don't
she's
think
much
so.
more in touch with the passive side of the Force.
That might be true, but she isn't like actively trained as a Jedi.
Right.
True.
Which is like that's like a learned sort of Force skill.
Yeah.
The ghost thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like being one with the living Force is what makes it easier
Well,
to do.
Leia's whole thing is battle meditation.
Yeah, meditation. Meditation's the biggest part. Qui-Gon Jinn learned it through meditation. He didn't learn it through like
Right, but he
learning his Jedi powers. It was through what is Jedi mind.
Yeah,
Right,
but it was
it was,
still
like,
a skill.
guided,
A
yeah.
skill he learned through meditation, and she hasn't, as far as we know, learned that skill.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
she's
also
able to
battle-
fly in
battle
space.
meditation-
In the vacuum of space, she's able to fly around.
I mean-
Yeah, that's like a reaction. That was like an innate like Force sort of. That wasn't a conscious thought. She wasn't like actively trying to pull herself in. It didn't
Right.
seem like
Yeah.
that was just like fight or flight.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, if you can lift objects with the Force, you can lift yourself, especially in the vacuum of space where
Right.
gravity isn't
I say
pulling
that's
against you.
that's the only Force move we've ever seen her do in the actual like live action movies.
Yeah, because she isn't trained as a Jedi is to like affect the environment with the Force.
Right.
It's like
all
in
intuitive.
it's like even in the games. Yeah, she has more empathic.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what battle
things.
meditation is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like meditating. It's like making. It affects the entire
when you
mental
put-
state of all the people on your side.
When you
and
put the word battle in front of it, it kind of makes it a bit, like, makes you think
What?
that makes you think that it's something for battle when you put the word battle.
It is for battle, but it's
But it's in
not,
a different way. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Jean
It's
and
morale.
Ruby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's all about morale.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
100% makes sense.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw in some way, all of the Force ghosts.
Like Qui-Gon and
No, because Qui-Gon never got a form.
yeah,
Like,
true.
And I wonder how they would do.
Obi.
Yeah, they probably use Ewan
Oh yeah,
and
man.
like just age him up to like.
Throw some Ewan in there and then make a fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. Ugh. I'm sorry, I just really want Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. I want one more. I want one more out of him. He's got it in him. He's at that perfect age to be on Tatooine while Luke is still a baby Obi-Wan.
That's kind of boring, though.
Yeah.
We don't know if it is. There's plenty of things you might be able to do on Tatooine.
On one planet in a Star Wars movie,
Yeah.
that's kind of fucking boring.
I mean, it doesn't. Maybe not even.
Where there are no Star Wars.
Maybe just on one planet. Maybe he exiled himself, but maybe he gets into some sort of personal problem that he's got to.
I would like to know more about Obi-Wan in general because I remember whenever I was younger, I had one of the just random books for Star Wars, and it had like Obi-Wan having a lover, and like they had a kid or something, and something happened that was crazy dramatic that traumatized him or something.
Oh, that's the most character destroying thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe worse though.
That might not even be canon anymore.
Oh,
That
it
was
absolutely-
like,
probably
absolutely
not.
is.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was like way back.
Yeah, that sounds like an Infinity storyline, a what if storyline to begin with.
It was something that would have happened in like early Clone Wars if it was
Okay.
like timeline
Yeah,
wise.
I mean, in the Clone Wars TV series, he has a chick that he's fresh with.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still obviously sticks to the Jedi code much more.
Right.
But
Right.
he's still like, "What up, girl? I
Yeah.
see you're in
Although
prison."
I don't really think that I like
That's
what
one
it
episode I
does
could
to
think of.
Obi-Wan's character for him to have left Tatooine while Luke was a child, though.
Right.
Because that's his whole thing, is staying there protecting Luke until Luke is old enough to
Right.
do the thing.
That was like his penance for
Right.
his failure with Anakin.
Right. So he goes off on some damn full idealistic crusade.
I mean, is there anyone else that's canon that we could think of that had a problem with Obi and went hunting for him, and that could be like the main
I mean, yes, but we've already taken care of that problem.
Not
we don't need
Maul,
to see that one
yeah.
twice.
Yeah,
Right.
not Maul. I was thinking of somebody other than Maul, obviously.
Yeah, that's why I say I can't think of anybody
Grievous.
else. Right.
Wow, Obi-Wan, fucking killing motherfuckers.
Hello there. Yeah, man. Killed 2 people, then ripped his. Oh, well, no, he killed. Yeah. Killed Grievous. Wait, did he kill Grievous? Kill Grievous?
Yeah.
We saw Grievous die?
He killed Grievous, yeah.
So uncivilized.
Yeah.
No, okay.
And then in Clone Wars, he gave Darth Maul the old hack and slash.
We should watch all
Nah,
of the Star Wars again.
Was it in? No, it wasn't in Clone Wars. It was in Rebels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah, in Rebels, because it wasn't even the hack and slash, man. It was the most respectful death ever.
Mm-hmm.
God, Obi-Wan, you son of a bitch. He's just so good. My favorite characters ever written, all time. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not even just because of Ewan McGregor. He's just a good dude.
Oh no, because Alec Guinness already fucking played that character so well. Ewan McGregor.
Sir.
Yes, Sir Alec McGuinness.
He deserves it.
Not contesting his knighthood.
You gave me a look of like disapproval.
No, it's just that always seemed pretentious whenever.
Having
like,
sir in your name.
Yeah, like forcing people to like say my title.
It's like I am a sir.
Yeah, like doctors who are like, I didn't go to medical school for way too long.
To not be called
To
doctor.
not be called, no.
Like-
I just make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's like, do you see these 3 PhDs? I'm Dr. Gibson.
Do you see these 3 FUDs?
These 3 pieces of paper here make you have to call me Doctor.
Oh man. We could maybe a Qui-Gon movie before he gets saddled with Padawan.
Maybe a young Obi-Wan and a young Qui-Gon.
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Buddy cop movie. No.
I don't want to see any character that I already know.
I feel that.
That's fair.
Like, I definitely think that Star Wars benefits from long form storytelling, like doing like sequential, like not just one film here, like because then it kind of just feels like just checkpoints of like story beats and everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh really? Everything we know about Han Solo happened in a 2-day period. Really, that's interesting. So I would like to see like another like saga, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see it be something completely new and different. And I mean, anywhere. It could still be happening at the same time, just from a different perspective. Now the problem with that is, I mean, you can't really have the Empire is all encompassing, so like that is kind of always in the shadows. So no matter like what you're up against, you never really take out the problem. But we know how the Empire's taken down, so that can't really be a thing. So it kind of has to be in a different part of the timeline than the main Skywalker story.
Can you have Star Wars take place in just like a neighboring galaxy?
I mean, maybe. I mean, you could focus
long time ago in another galaxy far away.
I mean, you could focus
a
on.
long time ago in a galaxy even farther away.
I mean, you could focus on the outer rim,
right?
To where like the Empire didn't really have much impact. I mean, that would be interesting to see, like the part that didn't really feel the difference between the Republic and the Empire and the New Republic and all the changes that are just on the outskirts of the jurisdiction of society.
I just, I don't know to what point. I want to see them push it because I don't know to what point anything like this would stop being Star Wars. Like, is it the themes that contain it? Is it the setting? Is it the
right?
Because there are enough potential characters in this galaxy that you could tell an infinite number of stories. But what makes it Star Wars? Is it all these themes of like binary good and evil, or like it not actually being that way, or just like
Right, like, because, I mean, it was kind of ham-fisted into Rogue One. You don't need the Force to tell a Star Wars movie.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't need the Jedi. You don't need the Republic or the Empire. You know, you don't need stormtroopers or rebels or any of that stuff. So, what is the thing that makes it the thing? Like,
Is it just conflict and then unrecognizable galaxy?
right? Is it? Yeah.
Huh. It's worth exploring.
Indeed.
Like space in general.
So, thank you for watching another episode of Fandom Nonsense. Again, be sure to go watch The First Word and Captain Marvel review over on our Patreon. We'll be doing a bunch of reviews over the next year. I think next is Shazam for April, and then Avengers Endgame and Detective Pikachu, both in May, and then Aladdin in June, and more throughout the
Aladdin
years.
in May.
Is Aladdin in May?
May 24th. Watched the trailer like 4 times. 5 times. 5 times.
There are not going to be enough days in May for you guys to do everything you need to do.
You have no idea.
We'll probably hit Aladdin at the very first week of June. Then will be when the review comes out. If it's coming out that late in May, plus we have Endgame and Detective Pikachu to hit in May.
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu?
What?
Chicken butt.
Spider-Man: Far From Home in July.
Ooh.
The Lion King in August. Nothing really good is coming out in September. I looked.
No, I'm like September anyway.
All right. Sorry, Jacob.
I turned 21 in September.
All right, we'll have
Oh,
a
you sure do.
we'll have a birthday podcast.
We'll have a Serena's turns 21 review in September.
Yeah. Pay for that.
Hangover review.
The Joker in October.
Ooh.
Good time, man.
A nice little fun dip into chaos. I'm guessing this is going to be very, very bad. Sonic in November.
I'm so
Oh,
excited for the
yeah.
fucking Sonic movie, dude. You say it's when?
November.
Have fun with that.
And
Yeah.
of course, Star Wars Episode 9 in December. So make sure to head over to the Patreon. Give us $1 so you can watch all of those plus some other fun things. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.